Some men don't need to speak loudly. They don't need flashy clothes, cheap attention, or constant validation. Yet when they walk into a room, everything shifts. People notice, the energy changes, and no one can quite explain why. It's not charisma, it's not charm. It's something deeper. It's their aura, the invisible force of presence that commands respect without saying a word. This energy can't be faked. It doesn't come from money, muscles, or a perfect smile. It comes from mastery of self, forged through silence, forged through restraint. The Stoics called it inner citadel, the fortress within that no chaos can breach. And whether you realize it or not, you might already carry this kind of power. That's why people react strangely around you, why some admire you and others feel intimidated without cause. Today, I'll show you 5 signs your aura is powerful. Not based on fantasy or wishful thinking, but grounded in ancient Stoic wisdom, masculine energy, and emotional control. If you've ever felt misunderstood, overlooked, or too intense for the world around you, this video might explain why. Because what you've been calling different might just be power. Let's get into it. Sign 1. People feel you before you speak. The silent impact. Have you ever walked into a room and felt the air shift? Conversations slow, eyes subtly turn, people start adjusting themselves without knowing why. You didn't speak, you didn't try to impress, but somehow they felt you. That's not an accident. That's not luck. That's a powerful aura in action. Stoic men don't chase attention, they attract it through calm certainty. Marcus Aurelius spoke of this when he wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." A powerful aura is not a performance. It's a presence. It's the unshakable weight of a man who has faced himself and come out stronger. You may notice strangers telling you their life stories within minutes. People may instinctively ask for your opinion, even in groups where you've said nothing. Others might move aside slightly when you walk by, not out of fear, but out of subconscious respect. This kind of silent impact is the result of something deeper. You are grounded. While others are loud to hide their insecurity, your stillness speaks volumes. While others flex status, you embody substance. This is what I call energetic gravity, the pull of a man who doesn't need validation to know his worth. Powerful auras are not born, they're built, forged in solitude, sharpened through self-awareness, anchored by discipline. When your thoughts are in order, your emotions are stable, and your purpose is clear. You don't just enter a room, you shift it. And the truth is, you don't even try. You don't need to. Because real presence doesn't need an introduction. It's already felt. Sign 2. You feel the room before the words. Intuitive awareness. Ever walked into a space and instantly knew something was off? No one said anything, no one made a move, but deep down you felt the tension, the unspoken friction, the subtle undercurrents. That's not imagination. That's your aura scanning frequencies others can't detect. This is what I call intuitive masculinity, the quiet superpower of the Stoic man. While most are too distracted by noise, you've learned to read the room like a map. You don't just hear tone, you feel intention. You don't just process words, you sense energy, and you're almost never wrong. People with powerful auras often feel drained in large crowds, not because they're weak, but because they're processing emotional data others are blind to. You might walk into a meeting and know who's lying, not through evidence, but through inner knowing. You might sense someone's struggle, even when they're smiling. That's not paranoia, that's perception. The Stoics didn't ignore emotion, they mastered it. They taught awareness without reactivity. That's the edge. You can feel everything, yet stay centered. That kind of inner sensitivity, when anchored in strength, becomes one of the sharpest tools a man can wield. The world calls it empathy or gut instinct. But in your case, it's the result of training your nervous system to listen to the subtle. Where others look outward for truth, you observe what's unspoken. Where others miss red flags, you already made the decision to walk away. This kind of awareness keeps you ahead, in relationships, in business, in life. It helps you detect lies before they become betrayal. It helps you align with people whose energy uplifts rather than drains. And it gives you a calm advantage in situations where others feel lost. When you trust that inner signal, the one that says this isn't right, even when logic says otherwise, you're not being emotional. You're being energetically intelligent. Because a powerful aura doesn't just radiate, it receives. And that quiet perception, that unseen awareness, is what separates the Stoic from the scattered. If this message is bringing you clarity, pause for a second and consider supporting what we're building. If this video is giving you real value, hit that subscribe button. It helps us keep creating content that speaks to your depth, not just your distractions. Thank you for being part of this. Sign 3. You disrupt weak energy without trying. Have you noticed that some people act differently around you? Not because of what you say, but simply because you're there? They might shift uncomfortably in conversation, force a laugh, avoid eye contact, or even mock your silence. But you haven't done anything wrong. In fact, that reaction says more about them than it does about you. What's really happening is this: your aura exposes what others try to bury. People who live behind masks feel threatened by those who don't wear one. And when you walk in fully grounded, unbothered, and self-possessed, it creates a contrast they can't ignore. As Seneca said, "The gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." You, my friend, are that friction. Your very existence forces others to confront their instability, their lies, their inflated egos. Not because you attack them, but because your calm is a mirror. And mirrors don't lie. You'll notice. People become strangely defensive in your presence, even if you're polite. Loud, fake confidence begins to crack when you say nothing. Some can't maintain eye contact, not because you're intimidating, but because you're too real. Insecure people often lash out at calm ones. They mistake your silence for superiority, your boundaries for arrogance. But in truth, you're simply not playing the same game. This phenomenon happens in social circles, at work, even in dating. Your steady presence is a reminder of what others could be if they had discipline, if they had control, if they weren't living reactively. And because your aura disturbs false peace, it often becomes a silent test. Some people will be drawn to it, hungry for the stability you radiate. Others will resist it, threatened by what it reveals. Either way, don't dim your energy to make others comfortable. A Stoic man doesn't conform to the room, he shapes it. While the world bends to trends and applause, you stay rooted and make the room adjust to your frequency. Sign 4. You protect your energy like it's sacred. One of the clearest signs that your aura is powerful is that you guard it. You don't show up to every invitation. You don't say yes just to please people. And when chaos knocks at your door, you don't answer. Not because you're weak, but because you've built something inside that's too valuable to be disturbed. Most men spread their energy thin, chasing approval, over-explaining, over-committing. And in doing so, they lose their essence. They become exhausted, bitter, and lost. But you've chosen a different path. You understand that energy is currency, and you don't invest it where there's no return. That means canceling plans that drain you, even if it disappoints others. Saying no without apology when something feels misaligned. Choosing solitude not to isolate, but to recalibrate. This isn't antisocial behavior, it's energetic discipline. Stoic men don't chase, they attract. They don't explain, they embody. They don't react, they respond. You might sometimes feel guilt for needing space. Society tells men they should always be on, always available, always grinding. But that mindset leads to burnout, not mastery. The truth is, powerful auras require maintenance. Just like a warrior sharpens his blade before battle, you sharpen your mind through intentional solitude. You refine your direction in the quiet. You rebuild your strength in the stillness. And when you return, you're not just back. You're better, clearer, sharper, because every moment you spent alone wasn't wasted. It was invested. While others scroll, react, and scatter their focus, you use your time to realign with purpose. You may also begin to notice how other people's energy affects you more than it does others. Crowded environments, emotionally chaotic people, even loud digital noise, it all starts to weigh heavier on your system. That's not sensitivity, that's awareness. And so you create boundaries, not out of fear, but out of respect for your own frequency. Because when your aura is powerful, your time, your presence, and your peace become sacred. And the moment you begin treating them that way, the world does too. Sign 5. Life bends toward your intentions. Quiet manifestation. There's a point in every Stoic man's journey where he stops pushing and starts aligning. He no longer chases outcomes, begs for attention, or forces life into shape. Instead, he cultivates clarity, inner stillness, and focused intention, and watches as life quietly begins to respond in his favor. Ever had a moment where you thought of someone and they called, or visualized a goal, and without explanation, the path opened in front of you? These aren't just lucky breaks. These are subtle confirmations that your aura is not just powerful, it's directive. First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Epictetus. That's the Stoic formula for manifestation. Not wishful thinking, not emotional fantasy, but clear identity plus deliberate action. When your energy is clean, not cluttered by doubt, neediness, or confusion, you begin to operate like a tuning fork. You resonate at a frequency that pulls compatible people, places, and opportunities into your orbit. You don't chase what you want, you become it. And in becoming, you attract. Stoic men manifest differently. They don't scribble goals on a vision board and hope. They decide who they are, act with congruence, and let the universe catch up. They understand that every action, every word, every breath sends out a signal. That signal is either one of desperation or of calm certainty. Most men send mixed signals. I want love, but carry bitterness. I want success, but act out of fear. The Stoic man, however, broadcasts only one thing: coherence. Coherence between his thoughts, words, and actions. Coherence between what he wants and how he shows up. And because of that, life responds. You'll start noticing perfect timing, meeting the right person at the exact moment you needed them. Rapid shifts, opportunities appearing where there were none. Strange coincidences, numbers, messages, even dreams guiding you with precision. Psychologists call this cognitive priming. Physicists call it quantum entanglement. Jung called it synchronicity. But for the Stoic, it's simply this. You are no longer working against the current. You've become the current. And here's the deeper truth. Your aura becomes a command, not a request. Because when your intention is grounded in virtue, when you no longer need the outcome to define your worth, you unlock something rare. Effortless alignment. That doesn't mean you sit back and do nothing. The Stoic still works, still disciplines, still refines. But unlike the desperate man who manipulates and rushes, the Stoic lets time do its work, with unwavering faith in his own direction. So if you felt lately that life is strangely working for you, if timing feels divine, if things just click around you without excessive effort, you're not lucky, you're aligned. And the world always bends toward the man who is. Strength is silent, presence is loud. If these signs resonated with you, know this: you're not like everyone else. You were never meant to blend in. Your stillness unsettles the insecure. Your clarity confuses the chaotic. Your calm is your edge. You've been conditioned to think your silence is awkward, that your solitude is weakness, that your high standards make you difficult. But the truth is, your aura threatens the noise, because it stands on depth, not drama. So what now? Simple. Honor your silence. That's where your power regenerates. Sharpen your intention. That's where reality begins to bend. Guard your energy like royalty, because not everyone deserves to feel your light. The world is loud, distracted, desperate. You are not. You move different. You feel deeper. You show up with weight, not noise. And that is your advantage. Your presence already speaks volumes. Make sure it speaks truth. If you felt seen in this video, let it be known. Drop a comment below. My aura speaks before I do. And remember, your path doesn't need validation. It only needs commitment. Before you go, the algorithm has chosen a video specifically for you. But maybe it wasn't just the algorithm. Maybe it's your energy calling in exactly what you need next. Click on it now. Thank you for watching. If this resonated, support the message. Subscribe to Stoic Spirit and join a community of men walking the path with clarity, calm, and quiet strength. Until next time, stay calm, stay sharp, stay powerful.